Ramsdale himself has a bit more responsibility around a moment like that. They have just won. They've won at Tottenham. He turns round, broad smile on his face, pulls his shirt, kisses the badge, and then Richarlison gets involved, and then our friend behind the goal gets involved in a manner which is absolutely reprehensible.
I've got to stop man like Jim White here. Am I really listening to him blame Ramsdale for Richarlison smacking him in the face and Jay from the In-Betweeners kicking him? That can't be what I'm hearing. That cannot be what I am listening to. I want to listen to that again because my ears must be full of wax, mud, dirt, something. What is this?
Ramsdale himself has a bit more responsibility around a moment like that. They have just won. They've won at Tottenham. He turns round, broad smile on his face, pulls his shirt, kisses the badge, and then Richarlison gets involved, and then our friend behind the goal gets involved in a manner which is absolutely reprehensible, and he deserves what's coming to him, that supporter. Surely Ramsdale himself, unlike what the PFA are saying here, has got an element of responsibility at that time.
I can't endorse that message from Jim White at all. Ramsdale, yeah, he's a wind-up merchant. There is no doubt about it. But he hasn't done anything to the supporters which is reprehensible. If he would have been calling them nasty names, swearing at them, being aggressive towards them, if he went to collect a ball for a goal kick and squared up to somebody, maybe then you've got a point there, Jim White. But he's just kissing the badge. He's just kind of laughing at them because for the entire game, they have been abusing him. Richarlison comes up to him and starts a fight. Richarlison is the instigator here. If Richarlison leaves Ramsdale alone, the fans don't feel empowered to attack him as well. This is 100% on Tottenham. I remember a few years ago, Everest celebrating after United beat Liverpool during the period of the Suarez-Evra situation where Suarez was proven to be a racist. And Liverpool players come over and started pushing Evra because he was celebrating in front of the Stretford end because it was within earshot of Luis Suarez. And I remember, this was the maddest bit for me back then. The pundits and some journalists were more angry at Man United players for celebrating winning than they were with what Luis Suarez had done to actually instigate the entire situation. To blame this on Ramsdale is utterly reprehensible. Reprehensible, without a shadow of a doubt. And a lot of people keep asking me why I keep backing Arsenal this year. Well, in this video, I'm going to explain it again. You're going to see why. And I'm going to give you my rationale for it. But we've seen 24 hours FA charges against Arsenal after they surrounded the referee against Oxford. It's now been 48 hours and more. As I'm recording this, it's more like 50 to 60 hours since Richarlison smacked Ramsdale in the mouth, a fan kicked a player. How many times did Spurs fans surround the referee and there's been no FA charge? To say there isn't a conspiracy against Arsenal because the fear, because the nature of people being scared of their return isn't palpable, you're absolutely kidding. You're absolutely kidding yourselves. You really, really are.
Let's go! Come on!
Time now to be an Arsenal fan, but they've won nothing yet. Everybody wanting to say that Arsenal have it's theirs to throw away. Not at all, Jim. Not at all, because it's Man City's title that they're hanging on to. And Arsenal have got to develop, have got to keep reaching out to improve and get better. And I see that they will.
Be careful with your words. Their name's on the trophy, isn't it?
No.
So you see what Jim White's doing there? You see what Jim White is trying to do there? We've seen on TalkSPORT, we've seen on Sky, we've seen with Rivals, the narrative of it's yours to throw away, or the manager's discipline. You know, that could be a problem for Arsenal down the line. They're trying to set the stall up. Arsenal have overachieved irrespective of what happens this season. The same as if Man United just make the top 4 and don't get into a title race. We were predicted to finish between 7th and 10th. To be 3rd in the league right now and be a point or so, fourth in the league right now, to be a point or so away from the defending champion City and a couple of wins away from being properly in this title race is an overachievement. Arsenal are 8 points clear at the top of the league. And now the narrative, and I told you all months ago, the narrative would be changed and they would say, not winning it from this point means your season is a failure. And they're going to undo their own predictions from the beginning. It's an absolute outrage.
Not at all. Not at all. It's too far to go in this season. And Man City, when you look at the runs that they're capable of going on, no, it's not done.
When are you going to start believing that Arsenal will, if not win it, go very, very close?
Well, Arsenal fans already believe they're going to go close. And some Arsenal fans believe they're going to win it. But there's believing we're going to win it. And then there is the assumption that it's already won. They are two completely different things. I tell you, TalkSPORT have got to get me on, bro, because I'll break the internet with my debating ability against these guys. There is a fundamental difference between we are going to win it, don't care about City, don't care about Newcastle, don't care about United. 110%, we're winning the league. That's the different conversation from, and Arsenal fans aren't really doing that in their entirety, if you will, but most are not. Most are saying we're clear at the top. We're we're the best team in the league right now. We're confident we can win it, but we're not going to disrespect City and everybody else because there's still half a season to go. That's where it is, and it's where it should be. It's where it should be, my old mate.
I don't think they'll win it, but I'm starting to think, do you know what? They could, they might. They keep chipping away. They keep chipping away. Hardly ever concede a goal. And you've got someone like Isak up top, who I love a lot. You have got a chance.
Kunde here talking about Newcastle, just to give context to everybody.
They've gone in 1 point behind Man City.
I wouldn't say that they've got a chance for the title race, but I'm saying they've comfortably cemented a place in the top 4.
I think the top 4 is how it'll end up. I think the top 4, you've got now Arsenal, Man City, Newcastle. I think that's how the top 4 will end up.
United are not getting top 4.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
United are not getting top 4 that easy, that quick. Look at Pennant's face. Look at Pennant's face. He's fuming. He's legitimately 110% fuming. No, they ain't getting top 4. The anger.
Oh, you bitter man.
This ends there with bitter man. And that's what's happening. United now are moving into the same area that Arsenal were in the early part of the season, where the improvement is clear. His prediction at the weekend was wrong. And instead of saying, this United team's actually improved, we're still in the write-off stage, the pure, unadulterated denial stage. We're not in the anger stage of the denial curve where people are with Arsenal. We're in the denial stage with Man United that nothing that's going on at the club is any good at all.
Goal. Without that goal, that's it. The game's going to be dead and buried, and probably City may have gone on and got a second because Man United would have had to come out and push for an equaliser.
Hang on a minute. Do you know what's really crazy? I understand there's controversy surrounding Manchester United's goal. I do get it. And I believe everyone knows my stance. They don't hear it, but they know it. That these kind of goals shouldn't be allowed to stand. But within the law, they do stand. And there's multiple examples. Alexis Sanchez in the FA Cup final. There was City's 40-yard offside goal. And they're all different from each other in the sense of none of them look identical to one another, but it's the same premise. But this idea that if United hadn't scored that goal, we wouldn't have been able to score another. We scored 3 or 4 minutes later by committing players forward again. We were committing, as soon as we started committing and going for it, we started to knock on the door. So this notion that if that goal was disallowed, we wouldn't have got back into the game and City would have won, it's just bitter and hateful.
Goal changed the game totally. That felt like your typical Sir Alex Ferguson era at Old Trafford.
Getting the rub of the green.
Getting the rub of the green. I think if that's at a different stadium, different team, I don't think that's going to get...
Possibly.
Well, home cookings are true. Most big teams get the lion's share of decisions at their home ground. Man United are no different. But did you hear that? This is typical Man United under Fergie. United getting the rub of the green. But what were Man United also under Fergie? They were the best team in the country for a quarter of a century. Pennant knows there is change going on at Man United, and it's early stages. United fans are excited about it, but we can see those early stages. And the reason that I said it earlier on in the video, I'm going to tell you as to why I've been back in Arsenal all year. One, I've tried to develop a channel here where I talk to multiple fans at the same time. I've always found that being disingenuous and disrespectful towards their club, being a fan towards their club, just isn't the right way to go, because I want to have honest and genuine conversations. And if I'm just deliberately throwing mud at everybody's clubs, they're not going to listen to me. So there's a professional reason as to why I do what I do. Back end of last season, I was called a Liverpool supporter because I was continuously saying I think Liverpool are going to catch City. He almost did. I got it wrong in the end, but I was called a secret Liverpool fan. Same thing now of Arsenal. The secondary reason is so that I have credibility when I'm defending Man United. If I sit there and join in with the piling on with Arsenal, or if last season I carried on writing off Liverpool like everybody else was, and then I'm in a scenario where United are improving, and I'm like, oh, actually, for all these little, this data point and this underlying reason and this thing I've noticed and this feel-good factor and this bit of managerial quality, if I'm only praising Man United's manager for doing that, I don't have any credibility when it comes to talking about my club, because I'm seen as a hypocrite. And that's the one thing I try my best not to be. I'm not going to succeed 100% of the time, but that's my reasons for doing it. But the bitterness from Pennant here is mad.
Possibly. I think they're saying that's offside because he's running with the ball. He's running alongside.
He didn't touch the ball, therefore he's not running with the ball. He's running alongside it, but there's no law in the game that says you can't run alongside it.
Side the ball.
He's in control of it without actually touching it.
Yes.
No, that's impossible.
Yeah, so if he was like left it, stopped and left it, fair enough.
Yes,
But he did. He was just slowing himself down. He didn't touch. You've literally explained what he did.
But he continued running with the ball.
I was angry about it, Jim.
I'm very angry. And then,
of course, you're angry about it because, by the way, I don't know who Pennant backs the most, Liverpool or Arsenal. And it was Arsenal when he was younger, I think. But if this was a goal from Man United in 8th place, and it meant that Liverpool got a 5-point lead at the top or an 8-point lead at the top of the league, he wouldn't be angry. His anger is, damn, Man United look good. And there was fortune to the goal. But you go on my Twitter account today, I put about 5 or 6 goals on there that are similar. And 2 of them show a player running towards the ball and stopping. And people say things like, oh, but if you take Rashford out of the picture, Akanji would never have stopped running. Well, then don't stop running. Keep running, Akanji, and Rashford would have been offside. If you look at any of those kind of goals where a man's offside, moves towards the ball or just stops, the defenders stop and an onside player runs onto the ball. If you remove the offside player from the picture every time, the goalies and defenders would do different things. They wouldn't switch off. They wouldn't stop running. They would concentrate more. They're all the same toffee with a different wrapper. But the reason that I bring it up is this. You can disagree with the goal, but it's the bitterness and it's the anger from Pennant here. We're not going to make top 4. The goal was a rip-off. Arsenal fans, go back to the beginning of the season and go back to what was being said about your team. The refereeing decisions going your way, lucky, not going to sustain it, impossible, the screwed up faces of people whenever you were doing well. That's exactly what Manchester United are going through now. And it's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see. But listen, I want you to smash the like and the share button on this show. Subscribe to the Football Terrace. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon. Thank you.